What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode review for the Rising of the Shield Hero Season 4. This is episode 10, and with me, as always, I have Blue Spade.
Yeah. So of course we find out the Water Miko's real name. Uh, his real name is Sildina. She meets with Raftalia alone to discuss terms of how they want to settle this, because even though Sildina is on the side of the Emperor, she feels like that. I don't know. I mean, even though there's it's weird because like she's a bit it seems like she's a bit oblivious to what is happening within the government that she serves. And
Oh yeah, that was the other thing. So Raftalia and her have and end up negotiating. Well, at first she takes the whale form, and then she reverts back to her human form. But once she's told by Raftalia what the government's been doing, she's like genuine. She seems genuinely shocked, like she had no idea. But they don't really go for any further into that. Like how would she not know what's going on? Especially we've seen her kind of wandering around different villages. I mean, I feel like she should at some point see what's going on or what the government is doing to its people. But I guess she never noticed. I don't know. It doesn't really make sense. But the main problem I have with this whole interaction is just how, like I said before we recorded this, it just feels like Raftalia, I almost was wondering if this wasn't some kind of a trap, because the negotiations just go really smoothly. And it really seems like a lot of, I mean, of course, Raftalia doesn't want to engage in any kind of bloodshed, but the deal that she's given is just, it's almost like it benefits her side more than it does, the Emperor or whatever. They're going to basically be pardoned of all their crimes and given military positions within the government. So, I mean, they get off really easily for what they're doing. It really just seems to pretty much benefit them. And I don't know. It just, I was just like, wow, that wouldn't really. I mean, I felt like there would be a lot more tension, but I guess not.
no, it's and then soon afterwards, of course, Raftalia still expresses her intention of now wanting to lead the nation as becoming the new emperor and such. It's a completely 180 of how she initially just wanted to go there just to stop the assassination attempts against her, but then after seeing what is happening with Kyuten Lo, how the government is treating the people with just basically just mistreating the people and the high taxation rates. It's she feels like it pretty much inspired her to wanting to become the new leader of the nation.
Yeah. So this all happens pretty quick. I mean, a lot of this feels like it kind of got glossed over because, I mean, I don't know how it is in the novel. Maybe they go a lot more into what happens after these negotiations, but there was a lot of scenes I noticed in this episode where Naofumi is just kind of narrating what happens after, and I don't know, whenever scenes like that happen, it makes me feel like there's stuff that's kind of being either glossed over or just kind of cut out, or there's some sort of rushing things.
I do feel like that might be the case, because they did the exact same thing back in season 2 with the whole spirit tortoise stuff, which it just felt like, not only just the spirit tortoise stuff, but then Naofumi and the others going into the other world, which was condensed into a 12 episode season rather than the original 24, which they planned. And the spirit tortoise stuff, in the novel, felt a lot longer than it did, than how it was portrayed in the anime. So what they're doing right now, that this is trying to move things on a little bit faster so they can get to the climactic battle, which is coming up at the end of the season.
So, and also because of this, it's just very, very confusing as to, I mean, how this, Raftalia becoming the emperor is actually supposed to work. I would assume that like the rebel army would actually have to win, and she would, take over as the new emperor or empress. But it seems like the rebel army's just decided like she is the emperor now, or I guess like she's more so like the leader of their group, I guess, or the leader of the rebel group.
So like later she obtains a new ability, which she gets the Emperor's Blessing skill.
Yeah.
Which I guess in a way it enhances like her teammates, particularly Naofumi and the other legendary heroes, which
and then there's another scene where like Naofumi, I don't know, like they get these new new abilities or new like something that enhances their hero, their like weapons or the hero weapons they have.
So he brings Ren and Itsuki along with them, and supposedly it enhances their abilities, but
yeah,
from what I can tell,
honestly, like I, in my opinion, I felt like they shouldn't have wasted time on this, and instead they should have focused on actually like explaining some other things that I felt like just weren't really explained too well. Like I don't know, it just felt like these are the sort of things that needed to just not have been gone into detail about, but instead we have to know about like now they have. I mean, they're already like high level. Like if you see like their stats, like I mean, Naofumi is like in the 70s. And like Rishi, I think is level 80. So like they're already like really powerful, but now it's like, oh well, now we have these buffs or something that'll just help us out even more.
There's another thing that I want to point out is that we get Moriyasu back again, and I mean he's still simping over Philo, but it turns out that he's also adopted like several other Philolials that turned into, I guess. Yeah, how do I say this? Like, Filolial Queen forms, whatever they call them. So yeah, it's just like it just came out of nowhere, and it's like I would assume that he's done this like while Naofumi and the others were away in Kyutenlo, or
Moriyasu is just kind of. It feels like he's just been reduced to a joke character. Like he doesn't do anything except just I mean all he does is just do like really silly stuff and that's about it.
I mean he was still powerful enough to fend off the assassins.
Oh yeah, he is, but it's just like his character has nothing to do but just be like almost like a clown like in the series at this point. Like you just can't take him seriously.
I mean it's what happens when he spent his time trusting a serial liar in his team. So yeah, and of course, by the end of the episode, we finally get the reveal of, the Emperor of Kyutenlo, which it turns out it's just, I mean, to be fair, like you could say that, Raphtalia is also would have been around the same age if she didn't level up, but yeah, it's just, it's just a young emperor who is, of course, being taken advantage by a royal advisor, who of course doesn't take too kindly to this whole peace negotiation that Sildina gave to Raphtalia. So instead of like honoring that peace agreement, that she goads like the emperor into pushing a war into Raphtalia's faction. So yeah, and then of course she orders Sildina to face off against Raphtalia, I guess in battle in the upcoming episode.
Yeah, so I guess it's not really even that the government of Kyutenlo is necessarily corrupt. It's more so just, it seems like it's mostly just this advisor that's I guess sort of the bad guy.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of felt that might have been the case. Just the number of times that she appeared in this in the season. And of course, revealing that the the actual emperor doesn't have any real power of sorts. But yeah, it looks like that's where it's just basically he's being treated as a puppet. It's at times.
Oh, we also have to mention that for I think like right after the ceremony with where they were giving Raphtalia the empress powers. Mm-hmm. They briefly go back to Melromarc, and I guess because they had to remind everybody about the Phoenix plot, and they have to like Naofumi's basically asking like how the preparations for the upcoming battle with the Phoenix are going, and I don't know, it just felt like that they just kind of like, they of course went back, I think, just to get the sword hero.
It's just, I don't know. I just feel like the whole Phoenix sides, this whole Phoenix story just feels like an afterthought at this point, because we know it's happening. Yeah. But it's like, is it really relevant for them to just tell us like how they're, how they're preparing for this? Because I feel like I don't know. I really felt like it would serve them better if they just saved it all for the following season. Because obviously we're not getting that, that Phoenix, that Spirit Phoenix battle this season. Obviously, I mean, it's something that they're likely going to save for season 5, whenever that's going to be out.
Yeah, really, they just should have spent more time on this Cute and Low plot. And I mean, I wouldn't even have been opposed to it, even if that is how it happens in the novel. Like it would have just made sense to just save all that for later, because otherwise it just feels like, okay, they're almost like they're obligated to mention that like this is still happening. Like, I guess in case everybody forgot that the Phoenix was a threat. But yeah. Yeah, I thought it was an okay episode. I mean, I just honestly, like, I don't know. I have kind of mixed feelings about it, because like I'm really just kind of I'm getting honestly like really sick of like all the politics stuff with the state of the world in these different parts of the world, and what's going on with the political turmoil in Cute and Low. I mean, it kind of made sense at first, because, maybe we'd get more about Raphtalia and her backstory, because now we're going to her homeland, and it was going to be more focused on her. But I don't know, like, it doesn't really seem like that's so much the case. It's more so we're focused on the political turmoil in Cute and Low, and Raphtalia just so happens to be the one that has to step up and try to solve the problem. Instead, I was hoping it was going to be like a more, maybe Raphtalia would have like more of like a character arc in this part of the story, but that doesn't really seem to so much be the case. Because I feel like it would have been more interesting if it had focused on that, but instead we're once again, it feels like we're kind of bogged down in the political situation, because before this, it was the political situation of that other place.
Yeah, it was Siltveld. I felt like
Siltveld.
I felt like Foal's backstory was a lot better. Was a lot better handled.
I mean, at least we got some of that, but as for the situation there, I just really don't care. And honestly, like, I'm just wondering, like, okay, why are we wasting time on this? It just doesn't really seem like it's that important. And instead, it's just, I don't know. It just feels like honestly, like I said, a complete waste of time. And it seems like the story wants to, go back to the Phoenix, but instead it's like, okay, we got to do all these like almost like side quests first before we get back to that. So I don't know. I'm just
they've been hyping up the Phoenix since the beginning of season 3, but they haven't. Yeah, it's barely brought up left and right, and it's not. It just doesn't feel like it's like the biggest threat that they're going to be dealing with. Just like, we just got like the season 3 was mostly focused on Naofumi getting back the legendary heroes back together. And now we're dealing with, with Cute and Low stuff. I mean, we've been hearing
we're dealing with these different demi-human settlements, I guess, that have these political situations that Naofumi needs to get involved in somehow. And that's kind of been what season 4 has been so far.
It's just like, I don't know. I really felt like it would have been better if like there was a main antagonist, or like a better main antagonist for the Cute and Low stuff, for Raphtalia to deal with, rather than just like, I don't know, like how about this, like, this royal advisor being, I guess you can point her as to being the main antagonist for this story arc, but like she's not. I don't really see her like as being like the suitable, like antagonist for Raphtalia in particular, because like
maybe if it would work better if she were somehow like personally related to Raphtalia, but I have a feeling she's going to be more so related to the Miko and maybe what was like her backstory, because like we only got like a brief glimpse of it, but I have to wonder if maybe that she has something to do with that, but I don't know.
It looks like that. That this, the next set of episodes will of course will likely finish off the Cute and Low storyline because that's obviously where they're headed now that they're going into battle with each other.
Yeah. It's just really weird because I feel like in some regards it feels like the series just kind of drags its feet in certain ways where just the pacing is just very slow, and then in other times it feels like it's just kind of it's sort of like glossing over certain details that are arguably kind of important.
Yeah,
and then just to get to like the next plot point.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't have much else to say about the episode though. I don't know if you have anything else to say about it.
I mean, it I don't know. It tries to do its best, but then it gets, I don't know, kind of, yeah, like you said, it kind of dragged its feet a little bit one times too often at certain points of the show. I mean, that's kind of its problem ever since season 2, unfortunately. I mean, there are some a little bit of high points, but then it just kind of bogs it down again with this whole political stuff going on in the background. So it's, yeah, I don't know. I think that's what it's really starting to hurt the series at this point.
Yeah, I mean the thing that was good about season 1 was, I mean, just Naofumi's personal character arc, and the characters were fine. They weren't like amazing or anything, but they were fine for what they were. But it feels like ever since season 1, the characters just have not really developed that much. Since season 1, and a lot of it's just been these politics of the world, and there's this big threat we have to fight, and it's not really even focused on Naofumi at all or any of the other characters. It's just there's a threat in this world, and Naofumi has to deal with it, and that's pretty much just been the majority of Shield Hero. So I don't know, it's the series just gone in a really weird direction ever since season 1. It just felt like they didn't know where to go with the plot.
Yeah, I really also feel like they kind of, I don't know, sort of fumbling on Raphtalia's story arc at this point, whether if you can really call it that. It's just like she is. I mean, she's like one of the more important secondary characters next to Naofumi, and like, I don't know like how I feel about like her about like her storyline in particular of like, whether or not if this is something that she really wants to do, or if it's just, or if it has something related, to do with her family being killed. It's not really clear, to be honest.
Yeah. But yeah, guys, so that all being said, until next time, we will see you all later.